I'd like to welcome everyone to our recess meeting of May the 19th. We will start first. I'll call this meeting to order. We will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by invocation from Alderman Sistrunk, and then a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alderman Sistrunk, if you would, please.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, grant the board and mayor wisdom and grace in the exercise of our duties. Bless the leaders of our community, that we may be a people at peace with ourselves and a blessing to others. Teach our people to rely on your strength and to accept their responsibilities to their fellow citizens. Amen.
All right. Once again, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here for this last meeting in May. We will first start with approval of the official agenda, looking at consented items, and I do wish to add one item under executive session for all, which is property acquisition. So we have personnel item under executive session right now, and I would like to add property acquisition under executive session. And with that, Alderman Moreland, do you have a change to the agenda?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to take under community develop B1 off consent, please.
Okay, so
Discussion of the
D1 is
B1.
removed from consent agenda.
Please.
All right.
Which
All right.
one, Mayor?
I'm sorry, D1? I'm sorry, B1. I'm saying B1, the plat, the final plat under
Okay,
community development.
got it,
Okay. So that one's removed from consent. Anything else?
no, ma'am.
All right. Alderman Sistrunk?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Alderman Strickland?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Skinner, I am so sorry. I don't know why I do that. You have a brother or something? Alderman Brooks?
No, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Alderman Pocock?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
No, Mayor, thank you.
Alderman Vaughn?
No, ma'am, thank you.
All right, with that, then I need an approval of a motion to approve the official agenda with the consented items as modified and the addition to the executive session.
Move approval.
I have a motion from Alderman Pocock. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Sistrunk. All right, if you would please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland,
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk,
Yay.
Alderman Skinner,
Yay.
Alderman Brooks, Alderman Pocup,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right, it is unanimous. Thank you so much, and I will read the consented agenda items. First, we have consideration of the minutes of the May 1, 2026 work session of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville. We have consideration of the minutes of the May 5, 2026 regular meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville. Under Mayor's business, we have consideration of the resolution authorizing the lien for 117 Clements Avenue as provided in the attachments. Consideration of the resolution authorizing the lien for 307 West Main Street as provided in the attachments. C is consideration of a resolution authorizing the lien for parcel number 118K-00-037.00 on Reed Road as provided in the attachments. Under board business, we have consideration of appointing Chris Williams to the Golden Triangle Regional Landfill Authority as the replacement for Cody Burnett. B is consideration of rescinding the board order of May 5th, 2026, authorizing the opt-out program for the power of change for Starkville Utilities. C is consideration of a resolution appointing Alderman Henry Vaughn as the 2026 voting delegate and William Pocup as the alternate voting delegate for the City of Starkville to the 2026 Mississippi Municipal League Summer Conference in Biloxi, Mississippi. Under community development, we have number 2, discussion and consideration of the final plat, FP 26-05, a request for final plat approval for Barter Row at 300 University Drive in a T-5D zoning district. Under engineering, we have consideration of approving amendment number 2 to the 2026 street improvement list. Number 2 is consideration of approving the access and maintenance easement agreement with Mississippi State University for the acquisition of a permanent and perpetual easement to construction and maintain a multi-use path for the MS-12 and Garrett Road roundabout project. 3 is consideration of approving the memorandum of agreement with Starkville Main Street Association for the Mississippi Main Street Revitalization Grant. Under Finance Administration, we have request acceptance of the April 2026 financial statements of the City of Starkville. Number 3 is request acknowledgement of privilege licenses issued by the city clerk's office for the month of April 2026 by the board in accordance with Mississippi Code 27-17-501. 4 is consideration of renewing property, vehicle, and equipment insurance services with Travelers Insurance Company for 1 year ending May 31st, 2027. Under Human Resources, number 1, we have request authorization to hire Garrett Lee as a non-certified firefighter in the Starkville Fire Department. 2 is request authorization to place John West Cantrell, Jaleel Clemens, and Meredith Gregg and Hayes McMullen on a list of potential non-certified and/or certified firefighter hires for 90 days. 3 is request authorization to hire Lucas Everett as a meter technician in the Starkville Utilities Department. 4 is request authorization to hire Barrett Box as a water treatment operator in the Starkville Utilities Department. 5 is request authorization to hire Andrew Drew Wigington as a police officer 1 in the Starkville Police Department. Under code enforcement, we have number 1, which is under Mississippi Code annotated 21-19-11 sub 2, and as adopted by the City of Starkville Board of Aldermen, the following properties are found in violation of said ordinance and are in such a state of uncleanliness as to be a menace to public health, safety, and welfare of the community and are therefore placed on the property mowing cleanup list. 49 Choctaw Road, 111 LaFleur, 112 LaFleur, and 113 LaFleur. Under our Utilities Department, first we have the request authorization to accept the low quote from Hydra Service, Inc. in the amount of $74,789 for an 8-inch Godwin pump at an influent pump station at the wastewater treatment plant. 2 is request authorization to approve change order number 1 with Chempro for additional herbicide spraying for additional areas including wastewater treatment plant, Trim Cane Lagoon, electric substations, ops center, electric division pad mount transformers, and electric division right-of-way ROW treatment in the amount of $30,135. 3 is consideration of accepting the low bid for the Curry Street generator, material only, from Taylor Power Systems in the amount of $99,054.17. 4 is request authorization to execute the contract extension with S&S Line Service to extend the agreement for 1 year at the same contract amount. 5 is consideration of approval of change order number 2 for a price increase of $5,370 for the Influent Lift Station Rehabilitation Project. 6 is request authorization to accept the low quote from Bill Young in the amount of $28,850 for installation of a new 10-inch check valve at Academy Well. And number 7 is request authorization to accept the low quote from Bill Young in the amount of $42,525 for replacement of 2 6-inch control valves at the Academy Well. And that concludes the consent agenda items.
Thank you, Mayor.
I'm always glad to do that. Thank you. So next we move to announcements and comments, and under Mayor's comments, I'm going to start with a couple of things, and then we're going to end with a special thing. So first I have, and it's always a pleasure to do this as well, I have introductions. So Police Department first, Chief, does that work for you? Okay, first we have Mr. Ruiz, Ivan Ruiz. Ivan Ruiz comes to the city of Starkville as a police officer. He states he wants to help and protect the community. He is bilingual as he fluently speaks English and Spanish. And we are so deficient that we don't speak to more than one language, I must say. And I speak for myself, nobody else up here, but I admire that for you. Originally from Olive Branch, Ivan is a graduate of Center Hill High School. His hobbies include playing soccer, exercising, and cooking. And we welcome you to Starkville. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Haley Powers. Haley started her employment with the city of Starkville as a part-time dispatcher and is now a police officer. Congratulations on that. That's wonderful. Haley states that she wants to get to know people in the community and give back to the community. Originally from Madison, Mississippi, Haley earned 2 bachelor's degrees from Mississippi State University in criminology and psychology and is currently pursuing her master's degree in forensic psychology from Arizona State University. She has a dog named Andy and 2 cats named Gizmo and Phoebe. She enjoys reading and singing in her church choir. Welcome. Glad to have you. And Michael Hunter. Delighted to have Mr. Hunter. He comes to the city of Starkville as a crime scene investigation assistant and evidence specialist. He has an extensive background in law enforcement and obtained professional certifications from the Mississippi Board of Law Enforcement Officer Standards and Training and the FBI in crime scene management investigations. That sounds so technical. I'm going to go ahead and read this because they give these things to me and I just, I sort of read. But in this case, this is really this is really, I think, very interesting. As a crime scene investigation assistant and evidence specialist, so he will perform specialized work functions associated with receiving, processing, and storing confiscated property and evidence, record transactions in an efficient inventory control system, and maintain the integrity of the custody chain and more. And I always think of law and order, so that's great. Originally from Macon, Mississippi, Michael earned his bachelor's degree from Liberty University in General Studies and his master's degree from Mississippi State University in Public Policy and Administration. It's 33 years of military service in the Army and a son named Jackson. Thank you for your service and welcome to Starkville. We're delighted to have you. And now the street department. All right, Mr. Burnett, Ryan Miner. All right. Mr. Miner comes to the city of Starkville as a street maintenance worker. He has an extensive background in operating various machinery, performing demolition projects, construction, and concrete pouring. We need that concrete pouring part. Excellent. Ryan states he wants to meet great people and serve the city of Starkville. Originally from Starkville, Mississippi, Ryan is a graduate of Starkville High School. He has 3 children, Aiden, King, and Zion, and in his spare time he enjoys fishing and do-it-yourself projects, and we are delighted to have you. Thank you. And that does conclude our introductions. So next, I need to remind everyone that we will be having the Memorial Day before our next meeting. So the reminder is basically that we will not be doing pickup on Monday, but we will be doing citywide pickup on the following Tuesday. So just remember, don't put the trash out, and everybody will get it on that next day's schedule, which will be the 26th, Tuesday the 26th. And let's see, what else? All right. Mr. Burnett, come forward, because it's going to take a few minutes or so. So I was telling the Greater Starkville Development Partnership Board this morning that we were losing a valued member of our community and of our city. Cody has been with us since December 16th of 2013, and it seems like no time at all. And we have watched you grow and blossom and become a remarkable department head and do wonderful things in the engineering department and with the street department. And I think some of those wonderful things were shown and gone in depth with at the work session on Friday, and all the things that you've achieved that have benefited Starkville and made us a better place to be. So we will miss you and wish you the very best, because I know that you are going to be at MDOT, and we will be calling on you for help from MDOT. I expect you to pick up the phone when we call. Keep your same private number, please. But we do congratulate you and thank you so much for all that you have done for Starkville. And so with that, I'm guessing that there may be a few people on the board who might like to say a few things. The vice mayor, I know, is never without the opportunity to say nice things about people. So Alderman Moreland?
Cody, I'm gonna leave that for another day so I don't tear up sitting at this table. So, but you are very much, I'm proud for you. I really am, and I don't know how to put in words how excited I am for what your future holds. So.
Alderman Sistrunk?
I remember when you came to the city, and to watch how you have evolved as an engineer and as a department head has been nothing short of the sort of thing that we always hope for when we hire an employee. So you have educated us, you've educated yourself, you've been a great service to the community, and we are going to miss you. So, and it's not too late to change your mind. So,
Unfortunately, policy-wise, it is. But we always consider a revive. Alderman Skinner?
In the limited time I've gotten to be around you and work with you has been great, and I appreciate all the help that you've given me, and wish you the best of luck. So.
Alderman Brooks?
Absolutely. I certainly appreciate it from me and taking my call. Probably knew that I was irate about some red light somewhere. But you've always, you've shown a lot of vision and the things that you looked at, these pathways we've done, and always being there, again, whenever I was called to ask. So I, like the rest, wish you the best of luck in your future. We're certainly going to miss you. And you've been a great asset to it. I know you'll do great at what you're doing. And as the mayor said, always,
I will. Thank you.
Alderman Holcomb?
I've not gotten to spend much time with you in this realm. You've always answered my calls, but as a fellow drummer and a fellow disc golfer, I do hate that I won't have a chance to improve my record against you, before you leave. But it'll happen eventually.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Burnett, I just would like to take this special moment and this special privilege to thank you for all of your distinguished service that you have provided and rendered to the city of Starkville. I remember when the board was preparing to fill the position that you're now in, and being familiar with your qualifications, your background, your wisdom, your knowledge, and experience, I was a very strong advocate for you. And you have continuously performed extremely well. And I was never disappointed in any of your work, and you've shown great leadership with your department. And I have personal knowledge of that primarily because you provide key services that my ward generally needs, desires, and appreciates and looks forward to. You have accepted my calls whenever I've called you, and as you well know, you and I talk before regular hours, after regular hours, on weekends. You've always shown to the Vice Mayor the highest level of professionalism, and I know that that's going to continue to follow you for the duration of your life. And I just want to say thank you for all of the contribution that you made to our city, and including Ward 6. You have brought a lot of visions to the city, and the city has adopted a lot of your goals, your missions, your objectives, and you've been very successful. And I always tell you, you're a very a great young man. You have a great family, including the children. I've seen photos of them. I often ask you about how they're doing. And I'm going to have to tell my good friend, the commissioner from the Central District, he and I work the Mississippi Department of Corrections together. And I'm going to tell him be sure to take care of you. Of course, I don't have to tell him that, but he's going to do that anyway. So good luck to you, and I know you're going to perform all your tasks, duties, and responsibilities above and beyond expectations, because you are a very, very smart young man, and I appreciate the privilege and opportunity of having met you, and I look forward to our continuous professional working relationship. And thank you for your time here at our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm gonna miss all our rides. When on Friday, most of the time when you be ready to get out the office, we ride and see a lot of things. But I just commend you so much for how you stay behind the scene with Edward, and a lot of things that you were performing. They probably thought Edward was doing, but you stood behind the scene. You don't always have to be out front to be seen. You did a lot of marvelous and great work behind the scene for us. And you just look at the streets and just look at the areas that I'm gonna miss you from all of that, really, really. And our relationship, we had a pretty good relationship. I say a good relationship, not pretty good, because you and I communicate every morning through Texas. So I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna really miss you and your family. But I still gonna be looking for my Christmas card. Don't forget that now.
Yes, sir.
But you have done great work for the city of Starkville, and I know you're going to continue to do the same because it's in you. And I appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship.
Thank you. I would like to say a few words. First of all, thank you. I feel very humbled for the things you've said, and at a minimum, I feel I should share all those nice things. So thank you. One of the questions I get asked pretty frequently is people want to know, what's it like to work for the city? What's it like working for the city? And I love to answer that question because it's an easy answer. And what I tell people is that using the skills and the training, the expertise that you have to make your community a better place to live, to me, is the best thing you can do professionally. You all know this. This is why you do it. To get up on Saturday and take your family to the farmer's market and walk on the sidewalk that your team is responsible for, or to see people in the community that you've helped. I have concentrated every ounce of technical energy I have into the 25 square miles that is Starkville, and it's been a great ride. I came here straight out of college, working for Edward Kemp 13 years ago, and I've done this job for 4 years, and I really have enjoyed my journey here, and I wouldn't change anything about it. One of the things that has made this a little bit easier is knowing that the city and the department are in good hands. I would put our department, the engineering department, as the best in the state, probably the Southeast, and I would put money on us nationally because I think that the guys are that good. And if you've heard me talk about the department and you've heard me talk about initiatives that we have, you may have noticed that I always use a plural form. I always say we. We did this project. We had this initiative. And I've said that naturally, but also intentionally because it really is a group effort, everything we've done, from the $8 million we got for the roundabout on Highway 12 in your ward, to the national pavement preservation awards we got, all the way to the miles and miles of sidewalk. It's always been a team effort. And there's nothing that I could say, I did that. That was mine. It's really this collaborative group. If y'all work with this, y'all know this is true. It's all three of us sitting there in a circle. And I tell you that because you guys are in good hands with the people you have. And my hope is that when I leave, you won't notice too much of an absence when I'm gone. And to me, that's a success. That's what I would be proud of to say. And so as I've ruminated about this tonight and thought about thousands of things I want to tell everybody, 13 years and 5 or 6 minutes, I've decided to take one out of the book of somebody that I respect very much. Chris Latimer did this about 4 or 5 years ago. And one of the things he stood up here and said was the best part about working for the city was the people that he worked with. And I have found that to be true. And so to that end, what I would like to do for just a couple of minutes is say thank you to a few people, not in a Oscar acceptance mode, but as a way to say thank you. Because if there's anything that I would want people to remember at my departure, it would be that I expressed an overwhelming sense of gratitude. A sense of gratitude to this mayor and vice mayor and board, to the previous board for appointing me in this position. I can't believe you did it. I really can't. And so thank you for that. I've been behind the scenes, under the radar, and I know that. And so you took a leap of faith picking me. And I'm so glad you did. I hope I've met your expectations. Thank you to this board and mayor for supporting all the things we've done. We've pushed Starkville. We have pushed the envelope. We've stretched the community. And we have come up with a lot of ideas and initiatives. And over again, this board has supported us. So thank you all for that. I certainly want to thank the department heads. And yes, Steen and Daniel, I include you guys in that lot. One of the things about Starkville that I think is special is the collaboration we have between departments. And if you've worked with other communities, that's not always true. There's a huge disconnect. And at least from my perspective, there's this level of friendship, kinship, synergy that all the departments support each other. And it's been a special place to work. And it truly gives the taxpayers a better product from their staff when you get that. So it's something to be cherished. So thank you to them. And then I want to thank the engineering department. Stephen Kackelman, who is the smartest person I've ever met. Chris Williams, who time and time again blows my mind with the good ideas that he can come up with. Y'all know this. To Mark Nance, which some of y'all may not know, but he is the watchdog for our infrastructure, which is a harder job than you know and a more important job than you know. And to Mr. Chris Black, who has taken the street department by the horns and has taken a huge weight off my shoulders in doing so. Those guys have made me look better than I am. They've made me a better engineer and a better person, and I owe a lot to them. So I want to tell them thank you. And then lastly, knowing I'm missing a lot of people, is just the public for entrusting me with their streets and drainage for 13 years. So as I kind of close this out, I would say that the thing I'll miss most about living here is this job and the people that I work with. I do hope that I can continue to make the community better on a much larger scale, closer to the tune of 50,000 square miles. And that I can use the things I've learned here to make the state of Mississippi a better place to live. But Starkville will always be my home. So I've told a few of y'all this, don't have my funeral now. I'm not dying. I'll be back. I'll be back in a different capacity, but my number is the same. So reach out to me whether you need me or if you just want to say hi. So thank you all for everything. Hell State, Hell Starkville.
That's a nice send off, and I do want to say he is going to be, though his last day is the 28th. He is going to be still doing remote work for Starkville, and out of that, and I mentioned it at our work session, I think it's very important to note that he will be making a presentation on the civil link, on the streets presentation to Rotary here in town. He's also going to be making the same presentation to the Association of Supervisors down on the coast and the MML down on the coast. So we'll have the opportunity to see that. And it speaks to the program and the strength of that program that he has allowed us to be a leader in, that the rest of the state wants to hear about it. So I take great pride for him in that, because he was the initiator of it and we are the beneficiaries of it. So all right. The other thing I did want to mention just real quickly, and the new rails are up on Main Street along the northern area that's been finished. So you can get a feel for that bump out of the sidewalk and the area that will be there in kind of the same way you get to feel this side of it. So if you up to it and want to get out of the heat or want to get in the heat, you can walk down there and check it out. So, all right. Having said that, I'll close out my comments. Alderman Moreland, anything?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Sistrunk?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Alderman Skinner?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Brooks?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Alderman Pope?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Mayor, just a comment with you. I won't get our honorable engineer back, but I just want to confirm I did ask him. I don't want to get him back up, but I did, for the record, I did ask him when will the contractor for the paving get back in and do the remainder of the streets, and he mentioned to me probably the latter part of this month, or at least by the middle of June. And I told him thanks very
Yeah,
much.
weather permitting, we all.
That's right. That's right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Alderman Vaughn, anything?
No, ma'am, thank you.
All right, thank you. With that, we will move to citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for anyone to give us feedback. You have 3 minutes to do so. It is timed. We take compliments, complaints, and concerns. Mr. Turner, always nice to see you.
All right, good evening to the mayor and board. My name is Alderman Turner, Ward 7. To the mayor, to the police chief, to the fire chief, to the sanitation, and to the NACP President Jerry Jefferson. The citizens is kind of concerned that Cornerstone was going to be a state of art and we wouldn't have any fighting or anything like that. But the citizens just want to know when we'll be safe to come back to Cornerstone without all the riffraff. We thought that it was going to be safe, but the devil always busy. But we just like to know when we'll be safe to come back, even though we weren't expecting that, but the devil always busy. We would like to also mention that Lafayette Street, where John Shoe Shop used to be, we have long wheelbase trucks, and you cannot get down the street. And they just wanted me to mention that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. Anyone else under citizens' comments? Now's the time.
Hello, my name is Laurel Lynn Rouse. I live in Ward 3. The topic of my comment today is regarding the utility assistance program that it's been in the newspaper. It's on the agenda today. I wanted to make a comment. Also wanted to note I am commenting as myself. This is not the views of my employer. I do support the idea of giving customer assistance to the very lowest, income in need of assistance. Should there be a method of selecting those folks? And so I realize that there's a problem with or potential shaky legal ground. It was reported that the current program is on. So I encourage the board to seek if there's another way to still have the same utilities assistance, if it could be done a different way. I think that the Water Environment Federation, it's a professional association. They have some resources that might be looked into. I don't know if there is a relevant way that can be done, but I'm happy to share that report with you all and encourage you to seek other methods of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawrence. Anyone else?
Good afternoon. My name is Sandra Ware. I'm still concerned about my street, Sadie Ware Street. I did talk to the superintendent. He did pull the video that the bus driver was speeding, and he still is speeding. I did last Thursday, I was getting out of my car and the bus driver come through there and steady speeding. And I said, slow that vehicle down. And I had to got back in my car and went and found the officer and said, hey, y'all need to patrol our area a little bit more. And I just talked to the chief and he said he was going to see about that.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ware.
Uh-huh.
Anyone else?
Yes, I was on the notice, sorry, and please forgive me, I was literally working in the yard, and I said, oh my God, I gotta run. So please forgive my dress. I'm Darlene Hassan. I saw a notice on a parcel of land over on Ruth Road. I think it says 201 Ruth Road, and it was about the cleanliness and that type thing of the condition of the property.
Can I stop you just for a minute?
Sure.
We will have a public hearing on that if you want to wait until that time.
Mine
Or
is-
you can go ahead and say whatever it is you want to say. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, mine is just letting y'all know something. There's a colony of cats over there. Not that y'all even care one way or another, but I see them, I feed them, and anyway, so just to let y'all know before you start tearing, maybe if you could get the, I don't know if that's in the county or if it's considered city. Okay, and then maybe you could get animal control to try to trap them or something before you tear it down or whatever's gonna happen. That was all.
Thank you, Ms. Hessen.
Thank
Appreciate you coming out.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
Mayor, Board, Honorable Board. I'm Walter O'Queeson, and I see here I'm apparently have been moved to the consent agenda. I presume that's the gray area.
Yes, sir. So and it has been reported that your properties have been mowed.
Okay, so there's no action being taken here, but that's not worded that way.
Well, it was on the consent agenda. It has been done. It was noted as a dilapidated property, and you've mowed them, so we will be taking no further action.
Okay, could that be recorded in the minutes?
It'll be part of the agenda or part of the meeting. Anyone else under citizens' comments? Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I will close it as citizens' comments. And we will move to public hearings. Our first public hearing is Mississippi Code 21-1911 for 201 Ruth Road. Officer Harvey. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board of Aldermen. I'm here to present to you a 21-1911 on 201 Ruth Road, Starkville, Mississippi, 39759, parcel number 159J-00-028.01. The pictures were taken, the first initial pictures, well, the owner of the property shows Prescott Roberta. My apologies. And the initial pictures were taken from the roadway on April 7th, 2026 at approximately 0800 hours. And you could see from the roadway damage from the roof and damage on the fascia and rotting wood there. You also see damage on the damage and missing shingles and stuff on the roof there, with damage and considerable damage there on the back side of the property. The letter of violation was sent April 8th, 2026, and a public hearing was also posted on the City Hall on the property and mailed to the owner on April 23rd, 2026. The inspection warrant was signed by Judge Kelly on April 22nd, 2026, and executed by myself, Sergeant Gillen, and Building Official McMullen, and Inspector Rogers on April 23rd, 2026, at approximately 15:30 hours. There shows, again, there's no change to the property from the notice to the warrant. And you can see a close-up of the damage there with the rotted siding and damage to the roof. Same here on the side. The back of the property shows bowing wood walls and damaged roof right here, holes in the roof in the back. On the inside of some of these units here, you can see the missing ceiling, roof, sagging drywall, and cracks in the drywall, along with more missing ceiling and roofs. The reinspection was done May 18th, 2026, showing no change in the property. These pictures were taken from the city roadway. Is there any questions for me?
I'm going to do a little preface because this was originally handled by the board a couple of years ago prior to the Alderman Pope and prior to Alderman Skinner being on the board. And so we went through the court process, and this particular 21-1911 action is not told while you're in court. I asked Mr. Huskisson to research that, and the response was that that is not told, which is why this is coming back to us. It has not, nothing has been done to make any improvements to it, and we are finding ourselves right back where we were a couple of years ago, and so that's the reason it's back before us without having any action taken to it. So, Mr. Huskisson, anything you want to add as it relates to explanation that goes with that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
maybe
Any-
recognize.
Vice Mayor?
Well, Mayor, I recall the history really well for purposes of the record in case that's appellate review. With regard to this presentation up to this point in the hearing, the code enforcement officer certainly has met all the notice requirements that's required for the hearing. It appears that the property owner may be in the room. The administrative inspection warrant was obtained from the city's municipal judge to gain and have the necessary legal access. There were photos taken from the road, which is legally permissible. And certainly up to this point, since we're having, and we're going to, I'm sure Mayor will get into the public hearing, but up to this point, from what I see, the properties clearly, for purposes of this record, clearly fall within the meaning of dilapidated structure as defined within the statutory provision. So I'm be interested in hearing what is additionally said for this hearing. The pictures clearly indicate that there's substantial evidence, but I'm going to reserve judgment on my opinion until we get the record complete. But I want the record to reflect at this point, for purpose of this record and for purpose of judicial review, that we certainly have met all the notice requirements, and the photos and evidence so far clearly demonstrates that the properties in question appear to be dilapidated within the meaning of the law. So, Mayor, I'm going to be listening to see what other evidence is presented, and I'd like to be recognized toward the end of this hearing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. And there will be 4 opportunities of this because each one of these properties is owned by the same individual. But at this point, before I open it as a public hearing, Mr. Prysock, would you like to come forward to the board and make any statements?
Absolutely. Round 3. Probably need to start where we were a long time before. In the Court of Appeals of the State of Mississippi, NO 2020-00662-0COA, Walter P. O'Queeson versus the City of Starkville, Mississippi, and D. Lynn Spruill. There's a couple little issues here. Back on page 8, Article 3, Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution protects all land owned by persons searched. Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution provides, the people shall be secure in their persons, houses, and possessions from unreasonable seizure or search, and no warrant shall be issued without probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, specially designing the place to be searched and the person or thing to be seized. This initially goes back to on or about September the 1st, 2023, when your previous code enforcement person, Martinez or whatever her name was, that's now at the sheriff's department, trespassed on the property. And so, that's not fully done. As of today, I have not received anything from the court on the court cases. As you know, my attorney passed last fall, and the court is required to provide me their ruling. As of today, I have received nothing from the court. I did find out they mailed it to a non-existent address, that when all the addresses were changed in the county, it was changed. So that's kind of where we are. There is a 4H in the file with the court. A 4H says, you didn't tell me about it, and you need to open it back up and give me a 30-day window to appeal. So that's where we are from a 16th Circuit standpoint, as far as I know, unless Mr. Hutz can tell me something different.
I don't have any reason to respond to you, but that's not accurate.
Well,
you can.
I don't know what's accurate, what's not accurate,
Mr.
but
Price, this is a new proceeding, and we're starting over
well,
again. And so
once
we
you
go from here.
trespass on my property, you can't just say, "Ooh, we don't do it anymore."
Mr. Price, that has been litigated. This is a whole new round. So do you have anything
You,
to say?
the
regarding
trespass
this
is
particular-
still there. The trespass has not been resolved.
Look, we're not going to argue with you about
We're
it.
not.
We understand.
So
your
that's
position.
where we are.
Understand your position.
And I've got something back here. I believe it's on page 13. Oh, by the way, I would like to get a copy of the affidavit for that search warrant that is required.
Noted.
When can I get it?
It will be after today.
Okay. So is it going to tell me that the Judge Kelly was told we've been here before and this property has been trespassed on and is not fully resolved?
There is no response to go into this, Mr. Price. You make whatever presentation you want, and then please sit down. We'll open it as a public hearing, okay?
Yeah, somewhere here is the code on you have to have those darn little pesky affidavits.
Do you have anything else to share with us?
Yes, I do.
Well,
I was having to find it. Thank
Okay.
you. Article 3, Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution prohibits warrantless administrative searches. So that's where we are.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you'll step back, I'll open it as a public hearing.
Good deal.
All right, at this time, I'll open it as a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this matter as it relates to 201 Ruth Road, parcel number 159J-00-028.01, as being in such a state of uncleanliness as to be a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community, such that cleanup of the property should occur. Now would be your opportunity, either for or against. Seeing no one, I will close it as a public hearing, and I would entertain a motion I'd entertain a motion, and then we'll get into discussion if there is some that is, someone wants to have a discussion. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from Alderman Moreland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Sistrunk. Okay, discussion. Anyone wish to discuss the matter? Vice Mayor, was this the time at which you wish to have a discussion?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, Mayor, I want to say briefly, we've seen the evidence that's been presented. We've heard from the property owner, and all the notice requirements have been met. And it appears from the evidence presented at this hearing today that there is sufficient evidence to support the action that supports the motion that's offered from the colleague from one.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
having heard no information from the property owner as to why it would be in such a state,
Right.
I have a motion and a second. Alderman Brooks, I don't mean to leave you out. Do you have anything you wish to add to this?
No, Mayor, thank you.
All right, thank you. Then we'll move to a vote. If you would, please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland,
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk,
Yay.
Alderman Skinner,
Yay.
Alderman Brooks, Alderman Pocup,
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins,
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right, thank you. The board has voted unanimously that this property is in such a state of uncleanliness to be a menace and that such cleanup should occur. Moving to Mississippi Code 21-1911 regarding 245 Ruth Road.
Good evening. Our next 21-1911 I'd like to present to you is for 245 Ruth Road, Starkville, Mississippi 39759, parcel number 159J-00-028.01. The owner shows as Roberta Presac, and the first inspection was taken from the roadway by myself on April 7th, 2026. Here you can see the overgrown property with a hole in the roof there, and the front of the property being well overgrown. The notice of violation was sent to the owner on April 8th, 2026. The public hearing was posted on the City Hall, on the property, and sent to the property owner on April 23rd, 2026. The administrative warrant was signed by Judge Kelly on April 22nd, 2026, and executed on April 23rd, 2026 by myself, Sergeant Gillen, building official McMullen, and Inspector Rogers. The warrant showed the no change since then from the letter to the warrant. And you can see the overgrown vegetation. You can see a closer look of what the front looks like behind that vegetation, where the front porch would be. On the inside, you can see significant cracking where you can see daylight. Significant cracking here as well. Some rotting ceiling here. You can see the back of the house here has completely collapsed. The floor, the ceiling has holes in it, a lot of rotting wood and walls. Same here. The back of the house here has shown fallen siding and rotted siding here. Just a closer look of the same photo there. A re-inspection was done on May 18th, 2026 by myself and Sergeant Gillen from the roadway. And you can see that there's been no change to the property. Any other questions on this one?
Questions of Officer Harper? All right, same situation. Mr. Presac, I assume as a property owner, you would be making the same statement regarding this piece of property as you have the other, as you did the previous one?
It needs to be read into the record.
If you would like to come forward, please do so.
One other thing, these notices appear to be overly broad. They don't tell you exactly what you need to do to fix it. And that's a point that has been brought out in court before, because this is just a sort of a shotgun shot thing that says, fix it, whatever that means. So we don't know what that means, and that's, I'm sure, something that will probably be litigated again. And again, we go back to in the Court of Appeals of the State of Mississippi, number 2020-CA-00662-COA, Walter P. O'Queeson versus the City of Starkville, Mississippi, and D. Lynn Spruill. And I believe it was on page 8. Article 3, Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution protects all land owned by a person searched. The people shall be secure in their persons, houses, and possessions from unreasonable seizure or search, and no warrant shall be issued without probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, specially designating the place to be searched and the third person or thing to be seized. And again, would like to get that affidavit. The other issue is once, there's also a little section in here about the city's code being unconstitutional as far as their search process. So you might want to take that with a grain of salt. I brought this up 2.5 years ago, and from what I can tell, the city's just doubled down. So here we go again.
All right, thank you, Mr. Prysock. I will now open it as a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to this matter, now is your opportunity as it relates to 245 Ruth Road, parcel number 159J-00-028.01. Mr. O'Queeson.
I don't know what this board knows about the hardship Mr. Prysock has had recently. His wife, I think, died about a year ago. His mother died about 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And I think this is her property. I think that's Roberta. And his son, I believe I saw an obituary a couple of months ago that he died. I know that you are chomping at the bit and want to come to a resolution, because that's good politics. Very good politics. Nobody's gonna stand up and speak on Dwight's behalf. Republican, Democrat, nobody.
Mr., if you could speak up a little bit, because we have people listening, so.
Nobody's gonna stand up and speak on his behalf. It doesn't make good politics for me to stand up here. I will probably bear the wrath of the lightning rod, or the other saying, it's the nail in the floorboard that gets the hammer. But sometimes there are other extenuating circumstances you are unaware of. And I know that Dwight never complains about the burden he carries. But I do notice it. And I just ask that this honorable board take it into consideration.
Thank you, Mr. O'Queeson. All right, anyone else in the public hearing? Anyone else? Seeing none, I'll close it as a public hearing. We have a matter before us. Any discussion? Well, let's get a motion first. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from Alderman Moore. Do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Pope, was it? Vice Mayor. All right, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? I'm sorry.
May I say,
Alderman Sistrunk.
the comments are duly noted. I don't think there's been any effort to make improvements of any sort to this property in the 2 years since this was previously before us. And I do think that it's clearly not inhabitable. It is a public safety and health issue, just for the record, as the Vice Mayor would say.
Thank you. All right, I do have a motion and a second. If you would please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks.
Yay.
Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
It is unanimous that the board finds that 245 Ruth Road, 159J-00-028.01 is in such a state of uncleanliness as to be a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare, such that cleanup of the property should occur. Next, we have 305 Ruth Road with the same, under the same code section, 21-1911. Officer Harvey.
Good evening. For our next 21-1911 that I'd like to present to you guys is for 305 Ruth Road, Starkville, Mississippi, 39759, parcel number 159J-00-02628.01. The owner shows Robert Prescott as the owner, and the first initial inspection was done on April 7th from the roadway by myself. And you can see the property here. Got a lot of vegetation overgrowth and the front porch being collapsed a little bit. You can see a better look here at some fallen siding and some rotted siding here as well. The notice of violation was mailed out on April 8th, 2026, and the public hearing was posted on City Hall on the property and mailed to the owner on April 23rd, 2026. The administrative warrant was signed by Judge Kelly on April 22nd, 2026, and executed by myself, Sergeant Gillen, Building Official McMullen, and Inspector Rogers on April 23rd, 2026 at approximately 15:30 hours. Here you can see a much closer look at the front of the property here with the siding rotting off and falling off of the collapsed front porch. Here's the collapsed front porch here. On the porch, you can see separation of the room there to the main part of the house, as well as some roof damage and some missing fascia that should be here. The back side of the house, or side of the house, shows broken window that was been boarded up, and hard to see on the slide here, but there's also a hole that is loosely covered by some tarping. The back of the house here is well overgrown, and it's also hard to see here with the shadow, but there's also roof damage here that goes up back into the house. What you're looking at here is a hole used by hundreds of bees flying in and out that were actively flying in and out during the warrant, potentially their home. On the side here, you can see more rotted fascia and siding there. The re-inspection of the property was done on the roadway by myself and Sergeant Gillen, and you can see that there is no change to the property.
Okay, thank you. Any questions of Officer Harvey? Okay, thank you. Mr. Prysock, would you like to come read into the record again? Or if you would like to, you're welcome to just hand that to the city clerk, and we will include that as both this and the next item on the agenda.
The one thing somebody should note, the reason I haven't done much repair on that property is because about 2 years ago, you guys issued a demolition order, so I'm told, never seen anything in writing. So it would be absolutely foolish for me to spend money on fixing things when the city could any day come and tear it down. So that's where we are, folks. Again, in the Court of Appeals of the State of Mississippi, number 2020-CA-00662-COA, Walter P. O'Queeson versus the City of Starkville, Mississippi, and D. Lynn Spruill. Back to our same little thing over here. Article 3, Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution protects all land owned by the person searched. Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution provides the people shall be secure in their person, houses, and possessions from unreasonable seizure or search, and no warrant shall be issued without probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, specially designing the place to be searched and the person or thing to be seized. This was a 38-page no trespassing order, by the way, from the Court of Appeals to the city. And then don't forget Article 3, Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution prohibits warrantless administrative searches.
All right, thank you, Mr. Prysok. Is there something else?
I do.
Okay. Tell you, while you look for it, why don't you step back and let me open it as a public hearing, and then I'll let you
Okay.
come back up if you like. I'll open it as a public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak to the matter associated with 305 Ruth Road, parcel number 159J-00-028.01. Now would be the time, either for or against. All right, seeing none, Mr. Prysok, do you want to come read whatever else it is into the record?
Okay, and Section 6, the board's decision declaring a quiescence property of public minutes must be reversed and rendered. The board's decision to declare a quiescence property of public minutes was based on evident photographs obtained by the city in violation of a quiescence right under Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution. The city should not have been able to use that evidence against a quiescence in this civil proceeding, and therefore the board's decision declaring a quiescence property a public nuisance cannot stand. And I know you're going to argue, but this is a new deal. But I refer you back to December the 5th, 2023 board meeting, where you produced all of those pictures. And once you've produced it, you can't take it away from somebody, as you two attorneys know. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Prysok. And that has been litigated. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right, Alderman Moreland, I have a motion from Alderman Moreland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Skinner. All right, any other discussion? If you would, please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks. Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
And Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right, thank you. The board has found unanimously that 305 Ruth Road, parcel number 159J-00-028.01 is in such a state of uncleanliness as to be a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare, such that cleanup of the property should occur. And last but not least, we have one more item, which is under 21-1911, the property located at 325 Ruth Road, 159J-00-028.01. Officer Hart.
Good evening. Our last 21-1911 I'd like to present to you tonight will be for 325 Ruth Road, Starkville, Mississippi, 39759. Parcel number 159J-00-028.01. The owner shows Roberta Prescott, and the initial inspection was done from the roadway on April 7th, 2026. Here you can see the property of the roof of the property is leaning in the center here, and the front porch is torn down. Here's a better picture for you guys right here. And you can see siding has also been rotting and falling off of the home, as well as some shingles are damaged and broken there. The initial notice of violation was done on April 8th, 2026, and the public hearing was posted at the City Hall, the property, and mailed to the owner on April 23rd, 2026. The administrative warrant was signed by Judge Kelly on April 22nd, 2026, and executed by myself, Sergeant Gillen, Building Official McMullen, and Inspector Rogers on April 23rd, 2026. Here you can see a closer look and no change from the letter to the warrant of overgrown vegetation, damage to the fascia and soffits and roof, and rotted siding. You can see the wall blowing out here, the exterior wall on the side of the building. On the inside of the building, you can see plenty of holes in the roof and missing ceiling, as well as collapsed floor and collapsed back part of that building as well as completely collapsed. You can see more rotten damage and falling apart of the fascia and hole in the wall here on the side entrance of the building. The back part of the building is completely collapsed and overgrown, as you can see right here. A reinspection of the property was done May 18th, 2026, and showed that there was no change to the property. And that's all I've got.
All right, any questions of Officer Harvey? All right, seeing none. Ms. Prasad, would you like to come make your statement?
Sure.
In the Court of Appeals of the State of Mississippi, number 2020-CA-00662-COA, Walter P. O'Queeson versus the City of Starkville, Mississippi, and D. Lynn Spruill. Back to our favorite page 8. Article 3, Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution protects all land owned by the person searched. Section 23 of the Mississippi Constitution provides, the people shall be secure in their persons, houses, and possessions from unreasonable seizure or search, and no warrant shall be issued without probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, specially designating the place to be searched and the person or thing to be seized. And then I'll just refer to the administrative warrantless search, that you can't do that. And the fact that it's been sad to watch this property deteriorate. If you go back to your September 2023 pictures versus the pictures of today, you can see how much the actions of the board and the city have allowed that property to deteriorate.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad. I'll open it as a public hearing now. Is the opportunity, anyone wishing to speak to it, this would be your opportunity to do so.
I'm Walter O'Queeson. I'd like to have entered into the record the fact that Dwight Prysock had opposed the recent annexation of property that still does not have city services. And I believe that all aldermen would probably consider him to be the ringleader, perhaps. And I see that there's no sympathy on the board for him. I guess this is what we come to in this nation. We're divided. Some people have worked all their lives for little gain. Other people have reaped humongous gains, well out of proportion to the effort that they put in. But life is not fair. Life is not fair. And we must accept that.
Thank you, Mr. O'Queeson.
That's one of the hardest lessons that we must learn in life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. All right, I'll close it as a public hearing. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from Alderman Moreland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Skinner. Did I hear someone? Oh, Alderman Brooks, was that you? Yeah, Alderman Skinner was first, but we can get you to vote here in just a moment. Any further discussion?
Mayor, may we recognize?
Vice Mayor?
Mayor, I'm going to support this motion. The evidence is real clear that the property is a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare. And there has been some allegations during the public hearing that about the petitioner opposed the annexation. Certainly, there's been no evidence that the board is taking any action based on any annexation. Matter of fact, that's even not an issue. It's relevant as to this hearing because there's no evidence, and the decision, in my opinion, is based upon the evidence. And the petitioner alleges that the city has caused the property to deteriorate. There's been no evidence, and that needs to be clear in case a reviewing court looks at this. So there's been no evidence that any decision by this board with regard to annexation plays any bearing on this case, and it does not. The decision tonight, based upon the motion that was made, is based on the evidence, and there's substantial evidence that that this property is a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare. The presenter from the Code Enforcement Department, the Division of the Starkville Police Department, has shown substantial evidence through photos to this board, Mayor and Board and Vice Mayor, of the property in question. We have viewed numerous pictures, which obviously, Mr. Attorney, is a part of this motion, is to be attached to as evidence that will go along with the public hearing recordings to this record and to any reviewing court. So just want to be finally clear that that the decision is based solely on the evidence that is hand, and that the city has not done anything of any manner, type, or kind to cause this property to deteriorate. So, Mayor, with that being said, I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, and I'll put a finer point on that. Not in this entire period of time since the original, or since the finding of this board a couple of years ago, over which we've been in litigation, has Mr. Prysop come forward in order to obtain a building permit, a demo permit, or any other effort to come forward to the community department, to the community development department, to move forward with any kind of remediation. So, all right, I have a motion and a second. If you would please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks. Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
The Board of Aldermen finds unanimously that the property located at 325 Ruth Road is in such a state of uncleanliness as to be a menace to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community, such that cleanup of the property should occur. All right. That moves us to, under Mayor's business, there's a resolution of Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville about abandoning and vacating a public lane located between West Gillespie and McKinley Street in Starkville. Mr. Howland, is that you? Would you mind bringing that forward just for discussion purposes? Because I think they reached out to you first.
Yes. So they reached out to me first. There's a piece of property, I don't have a graphic or anything, that is shown on our map as a public right-of-way that's in between two apartment complexes. And so one of the owners of the apartment complex wants to convert it into a condo, which then it goes from just a one owner to 6 owners. And so as part of that, we said that they should kind of take over control of the right of way. So it just kind of removes it all out of the way for future owners and to kind of clean up the plat as a whole.
And the city was not aware that we had any
Nobody was aware of that.
ownership right or otherwise to that piece of property.
Correct.
And Mr. Huskisson, you've been working on the resolution, you're working with the owner, is that correct?
Yeah, one of the owners, is very supportive. The other one has not taken a position either way.
Okay, all right. Any questions regarding this? It is not something that we have any reason to have, any desire to maintain. It's private, it stops, it's a little tiny street that stops at a hill. It goes no further. I think there may be some, something on the other side that would be hindrance to even punching it through for any reason at all, so.
Mainly a driveway.
Yeah, basically, yes. So, can I get a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion from Alderman Moreland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Poco. Any further discussion? All those in favor, oh, nope, there we go. If you would, please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks.
Yay.
Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right, it is unanimous. Thank you so much. All right, under board business, this is the tax increment financing revenue bonds that we have addressed on a couple of different occasions. I see Miss Christiana Sykes is in the audience. Would you like to come forward and give us just a little bit on this, please, ma'am? I believe we had one alderman who was interested in hearing a little bit more about it, so. Maybe a little background, please, ma'am, again.
Good evening. My name is Christiana Sugg. I'm here on behalf of HPM, the developer of this project. This project was approved. I don't have my TIF plan in front of me. I believe it's 2014, maybe it was 2016. The board has recently agreed to extend the development agreement to give us 1 additional year to have bonds issued. We have collected documentation regarding the revenues generated by the development. Right now, the development includes a car dealership, and there are additional plans to eventually develop the balance of the property. However, we have asked the board, in exchange for giving us an additional year to have the bonds issued, to cap our amount of reimbursement to $1 million. And we are now asking that the board move ahead with the issuance of the TIF bonds. The TIF bonds are based upon the increase in the ad valorem taxes and sales taxes generated from the project, and it's only based on 50%. So 50% of that increase goes back to the city from the sales taxes, as well as back to the city's ad valorem and the county's ad valorem as well. We appreciate the city's continued support of this development, and it's been a long road. It was delayed by COVID, and we would appreciate the city's consideration of the bond resolution so we can go ahead and move forward and wrap it up.
Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Attorney, this project came back to us around about 2015 and has had slow movement. What assurances do we have that this project is going to become a reality if we take this action?
Well, a portion of the project, and the portion of the project that can support the bonds, has actually become a reality. That is the car dealership that located out there. As part of the negotiations with the city, originally the city approved up to $3 million in bonds, and we're agreeing to only have the amount of bonds that can be supported by the car dealership, which is half of the car dealership's ad valorem taxes and half of the car dealership's sales tax rebates. Limit the amount of bonds to be issued ever to that portion. So if there's only enough revenue to support $800,000 worth of bonds, the balance of that $3 million will never be issued.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions of? No? Okay, I do need a motion.
Move approval.
A motion from Alderman Sistrunk. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Moreland. Any further discussion? All right, if you would, please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks.
Yay.
Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right, motion passes. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it.
Appreciate you being here.
Thank you
this
for your
evening.
time. Have a good evening.
Okay, you too. All right, our next item is the claims docket. Do I have a motion?
Move
Oh,
approval.
you took the one off consent.
Yeah,
The
B1.
committee.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was highlighted and I was still going with it. My apologies. All right, back under community development. Excuse me. Discussion consideration of preliminary plat 25-01. Sterling Ridge, excuse me.
This is a request by Pritchard Engineering on behalf of Charles Morgan for a preliminary plat for Sterling Ridge subdivision located on the southwest intersection of Highway 182 and Mockingbird Road in a TN-N zoning district. Previously, this was applied for as a special exception for a townhome development that was ultimately denied. This request has nothing to do with that request. The gross acreage of the property is approximately 51.09 acres with a total of 163 lots being proposed, which gives it a density of 3.19 units per acre. Most of the easements have been shown on the plat. The electricity will be served by 4 counties. The potable water and sanitary sewer service would be provided by Starkville Utilities. The final plat is a Class C survey in accordance with state law, and the applicant has indicated that this is not part of any previously platted subdivision. Just to kind of orient you to this, Mockingbird Lane, this image is upside down. So 182 is at the bottom. This is Mockingbird. So there's an entrance that's going on the west side, comes straight off 182, and then on the east side it comes off of Mockingbird Lane. And then to the top of the slide, which is actually the south, is the creek. And this is an image that's actually oriented correctly that kind of shows how it's superimposed over what's around it. You can see the subdivision to the south and their lots and how their orientation is, and then how this ties into the existing road. On May 1st, 2026, the Development Review Committee approved a preliminary plat along with several recommendations for conditions from Utility and Engineering Department. Those are then presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission as 5 conditions that you see here that are in the packet. The first one is basically regarding a 5-foot wide strip of land on every lot to reserve utilities. The second one is a professional engineering analysis must be rerun for the final site design. The third one is the buildings in flood-prone areas must be elevated. And then the fourth one is project cannot push water onto neighboring properties south of Josie Creek. And then the fifth one is a 24-inch layer of stable soil must be provided under all new streets. And then on May 12th, 2026, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously recommended approval with these 5 staff recommended conditions.
Okay, thank you.
So
Any
there are
questions of
any
Mr.
questions?
Haviland? Okay, and I know that part of this issue is the street. So Mr. Burnett, would you come up and give us a little bit of the requirement associated with the streets based on our historical perspective, please?
Yes, ma'am. This strata of soil that runs the west side of town from north to south, it really at least starts where Cornerstone is and goes all the way up is historically very poor. We've had certainly seen some really poor soil at Cornerstone and the existing subdivision just south of this location, Highland Estates, has certainly suffered from really poor soil. And this is anecdotal, but it's also supported through geotechnical borings, which we have. Mr. Pritchard provided those. And so the condition is to effectively take your design pavement base and provide a buffer between those. This is, MDOT has a standard operating procedure for this. They require a 3-foot buffer, and they are the state, we are a community. So it's a little different, but this is a 2-foot buffer. And we also had an independent letter written to the city from a geotechnical firm to look at the data and tell us what would you recommend if this was your road. It recommended a 2 to 3 foot buffer in all scenarios. And so this is not necessarily a question of can the pavement support the traffic? This is a question of does the underlying native soil shrink and swell enough that it causes that street to unduly suffer in the future. And since the city is responsible for the maintenance after it's constructed, I feel that this is providing a equitable and long-term investment for the city that wouldn't require us to come maintain it any more frequently than anything else we maintain. So this is truly just an exercise in making sure we get a good road in perpetuity.
Okay. Any questions of Mr. Burnett? All right, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I understand the applicant is here. Mr. Pritchard, are you going to make the representation for the applicant?
I will.
Okay.
I'm Clyde Pritchard with Pritchard Engineering. We're the civil geotechnical engineers for the project. And contrary to Mr. Vaughn, the rumors of my demise are exaggerated. Thank you, board, for your time tonight. Thank you for your service to the community. And you've shown extraordinary patience tonight. But I would like to comment on the condition 5 for the additional structure for the streets. Some of you know I've been practicing in the community here for over 30 years. We are geotechnical engineers by trade. We've designed a lot of the roads and streets in the community. The pavement structure that we recommended on the plat well exceeds the design guidelines for neighborhood streets or arterial streets. In fact, for those of you that are familiar with the widening we did on Blackjack Road, the 3-lane section that goes from the veterinary school down through the apartments, it exceeds what we did on Blackjack. So we're very comfortable with the design that we presented on the preliminary plat. Again, it exceeds the city's guidelines. I would also note that the city's requirements are such that you're not accepting these streets until a large part of the construction is done. And then you would have an inspection that would require us to repair and patch anything that needed patching before we put the final surface on. So we think the front end requirement of the additional buffer, as Mr. Burnett said, is excessive. We think it's an excessive front end cost that's not warranted. And we'd ask you to consider that and remove condition 5. Any questions for me?
None of the other conditions are an issue, so it's just condition 5.
They are not, Mr. Burnett and I, although we butt heads on occasion. We've worked through most of those. We're comfortable with the hydrology. We're comfortable with the drainage. We would just feel like this is a bit of an extra ask for the street sections.
Any questions of Mr. Pritchard?
You got to ask him a question.
Vice Mayor.
Mr. Pritchard, let me make sure. You're asking to remove condition 5? Well, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. What did you say about condition 5?
The requirement that we provide the 24-inch
Yeah.
buffer, the
Yes.
section we have has 18, the upper 8 of which are soil cemented with asphalt base and asphalt surface. We refer to that, Alderman Perkins, as a structural number, which is provided in the city's guidelines is what that has to be for arterial or neighborhood or primary streets. And we've well exceeded that.
But you're not speaking against number 5.
I'm asking that the 24-inch be amended or released to just accept the pavement structure we have on the preliminary plat.
Mayor, may I ask our engineer a question, please?
Yes, of course.
Mr. Burnett, is it your request that we stick strictly with your recommendations?
Yes, sir. It is.
Yes, sir. I just want to be clear. Okay, thank you, sir.
That's all, Vice Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask for some?
Alderman Moore.
Cody, do you mind giving a little bit background on the streets and, for instance, Goldfinch and that, what kind of got us here with the street conditions?
Yes, ma'am. So the Goldfinch is extremely, the roads are extremely bad in that area. In fact, the city soil cemented, which is the same section being used for this neighborhood, a few years ago, and it is cracking, to be honest with you. We had a specific report done for the entire neighborhood, and the report generally said, remove it all 5 feet deep and build it back. And so we're, just a couple hundred feet north of this. This is not an issue of if the pavement structure is not a good one. I think Mr. Pritchard does a wonderful job and has a good section. This is an issue of an extremely unique and terrible soil that exists in this part of the community. And the structure number that supports your traffic is a part of the equation, but it's only as good as what's underneath it. And so it's really a question that it does exceed the recommendation of the code, but the code explicitly allows the engineering department to make additional requirements based on the area itself. That's written in the code today. It's not a special requirement we have to get approved. And so that's what we have done as a part of this. This condition solidifies that, but this is to ensure that this certainly good pavement section that Mr. Pritchard has designed is supported by dirt that will not cause it to crack and rupture over time.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Alderman Sistrunk?
And Cody, the external engineer that you got to comment on this agrees that the 24 inches is the most reasonable amount that we should consider to protect that road in perpetuity or as long into the future as we can anticipate.
Yes, ma'am. They gave 4 different pavement sections, and the buffer goes from 2 to 3 feet, depending on what's on top. And we felt that with the section Mr. Pritchard had designed, a 2-foot buffer was reasonable.
All right. Anything else? Anyone else? All right. Thank you. Anything else you wanted to say, Mr.
Just a
Pritchard?
final comment. I would say that we're very familiar with the soils. We have Lakeside Apartments, Pine Lake Church, George Bryan Field that we, being Pritchard Engineering, has worked on the pavements and sections for. So again, we're very comfortable with what we have. And I would say again, before the city accepts these streets, you have a chance to assess them, and anything that this tremendous amount of construction traffic that it will take to build 162 homes, or 80% of 162 homes will rebuild. You have opportunity to repair that before the city accepts the streets. So this is a front end cost again that I don't believe is warranted on this project.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that's 162 homes? Is that how many?
I think it, Dan, am I right on that? Was
I wrote down
162 lots?
163.
Well,
162, 163
plus.
is
Okay, I
somewhere
got it.
around there, but
Okay.
it's gonna be a 80% build out before you accept them, and we're gonna get a chance to look at all that, or you're gonna require us to look at that and repair anything before we put the final surface on.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Pritchard.
Mayor, may I for a second?
Alderman Moreland.
Mr. Pritchard, I know what you're saying about us accepting the roads. My concern is not when you're done with your project. My concern is 10 years from now. And that's kind of if it can hold up longevity. And that's the issue for me.
Yes, and Alderman Moreland, all I would say again, I don't know how long Pine Lake Church has been there. We did that as Millsap Chevrolet before it turned into Pine Lake Church, Lakeside Apartments. We've got projects inside of this that have a long proven history of no problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Anyone else?
Mayor, just one last thing, please.
Vice Mayor.
Mayor, thank you very much. Mayor, let me say for the record, I'm not going to go against our engineer. He's well seasoned. He understands the requirements from engineering perspective. That's his field, that's his training, that's his education, that's his expertise. If we're going to approve this tonight, I'm certainly requesting that this honorable board and all of us stand behind his recommendation. We need to follow his recommendation. He's trained in this field. We don't need to second guess his decisions. He's the expert in the field. That's why he's our engineer. So I'm trusting that if we approve this matter tonight, that we strictly follow every word on all 5 of those criteria that being recommended unanimously by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Mayor, thank you. I yield.
Would you like to make a motion to that?
So moved, Mayor. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Second.
And I have a second from Alderman Sistrunk. And note that Alderman Moreland has left the room. Okay. If you would, please. Let you come back in. Okay. All right. Any further discussion? All right. If you would, please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name, and let there be light. Thank you.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks.
Yay.
Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. All right. Now we'll go to the claims docket. Go ahead.
So move.
Thank you. I have a second.
Second.
Thank you, Alderman Sistrunk. All right, if you would, please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks.
Yay.
Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Nay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right, motion carries. And that takes us to executive session. Do I have a motion to, thank you. I have a motion to go into closed session to determine the need for executive session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Pocup. All those, oops, nope, all, if you would please answer yea or nay, then call your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Absent.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks.
Yay.
Alderman Pocup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Yay.
All right, we have a motion, or we have a vote to go into executive session, closed session to determine the need for executive session. If you would, please clear the room. Thank you so much. Stacy Cobbins to transfer back to the manager position, which she had put in a request to do. So those are the two actions that were taken in executive session. So I need to read my calling of a work session, if y'all will indulge me for a moment. In accordance with the notice as required under Mississippi Code annotated 254113, the board will have a work session on Friday, the 29th of May, 2026 at 11 a.m. That meeting will be held on at City Hall, second floor conference room, which, by the way, it's going to be a good one. We're going to have a couple of things that will be interesting. The Dr. McGee will make a presentation on the new high school, and then we will have a presentation on our sidewalk program. Notice should be provided of this work session within 1 hour of this meeting by posting such notice at City Hall. It should be made a part of the minutes of the board meeting. It will be an open public meeting of the City of Starkville. Public and press are invited to attend. Do I have a motion in this
So
case
moved.
to adjourn? Thank you
Second.
so much. All right. We are
I
eager.
love how that second came
Well,
so quick, but every time I needed a second on that.
Oh, no, I get, okay. Answer,
Thank
please,
you for that.
please answer yea or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland. Alderman Moreland.
I need, thank you.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks. Alderman Pokup.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Yay.
Alderman Vaughn.
All right, thank you, everyone. We are in adjournment.